You know, there are whole groups of poets that compose their poems only on Google search returns. They're called the Flarf. And the Flarf do this all the time. And one day there was a poet who lives in Oregon named Casey Mohammed, who's a total wild man. And he went onto Facebook and he asked all his friends, I want you to put a phrase in quotes. You will put the word unfortunate followed by your first name. End quote. And we'll see what comes back. These are also unedited Google search returns turned into a poem. It's called 20 Unfortunately Marks. Sarasota has some fantastic dentists. Unfortunately, Mark is not one of them. Unfortunately, Mark went off at the gate. Unfortunately, Mark's work was interrupted by the First World War. Unfortunately, Mark could only focus on the second aspect, recognition, to explicate. Unfortunately, Mark has in the past been an ad hominem troll to me and the others. Even more unfortunately, Mark quickly discovers that nearly every man in town had the hots for Gloria. Unfortunately, Mark only goes for 10s, and Robert, with his bowl cut and lack of definition, is a 5, even on a good day. Unfortunately, Mark gets wind of this, and he and Wilhelmina sneak in and destroy it. Unfortunately, Mark, that won't work. It ought to, but it doesn't. Unfortunately, Mark does not code, and half of the JBoss core developer left last year, starting the Geronimo project, competing with JBoss. Unfortunately, Mark failed on 90 kilograms, the bar peeling from his grip just before lockout. Unfortunately, Mark fell off the stage riser, and that was the end of the recording. Unfortunately, Mark was hit by an ARG during his degree years. He's never been quite the same again. Unfortunately, Mark has never held public office, making it impossible for him to have a legislative record. Unfortunately, Mark hasn't paid rent in a year, which is driving the house rich but cash poor Suzanne to distraction. Unfortunately, MARC doesn't translate to a relational model very well. Unfortunately, Mark, it cannot be done with any reasonably sized hack. Unfortunately, Mark is allergic to onions, and everything he attempted to order had onions in it. Unfortunately, Mark's package was in the dashboard's shit-gathering compartment under the radio. And unfortunately, Mark's untimely death is a reminder that we should always remain that way.